to Poppy by far. And that's why all the folks on Poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on Poppycock back in the Poppycock Hills. They won't let me back on Poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. The earth don't spin at all on Poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. And beer don't stick to balls on Poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on Poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no Poppycock about that. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Take a trade.
Grab your partner, swing 'em round the block. Grab a stack of Poppycock. Do-si-do. It's Clown World. Poppycock.
Sheep don't like to block on Poppycock, ain't no Poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on Poppycock, waking with a Poppycock kin. And Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is the Poppycock Report, episode 7 of season 2. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your host, Rose777, and I am here with my wonderful co-host, the great Baldini. Good morning, Baldini.
Hey, good morning. And 7 and 2 is 9, and there's 2 of us, 1, so that's 9, 11.
That's right, right.
Dear.
That is correct. 2 is 11 encoded, and so...
Here we are,
Just gotta
Illuminati
stick it in
confirmed.
there. Illuminati confirmed. Shout out to everybody in chat. It is so good to see you on this fine morning. I can't believe how much Poppycock I have. I can't believe how much stuff I have to talk about. I know that you probably have a fully fermented jar, so we better jump into it.
Well, somebody mentioned sheep to start out with. I gotta show you this.
Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of the overlay here. I want to touch on a bunch of stuff. I hope I don't forget anything. So let's move on to the
That sheep is,
that's sad. They're supposed to be shaved so they don't suffer.
They are. This sheep is called Bah Rock. not kidding.
Really?
Bah Rock. And yeah, ran away into the woods and ended up with 75 pounds of wool that needed to be sheared. So, but this reminded me of some of my neighbors.
Yeah, for sure.
Just saying. That was just a nice segue from the sheep message. Where do you want to start with the Poppycock? I've got a metric butt ton.
Okay, well, I kind of wanted to just mention really quickly about last night because I didn't talk at all during that because I was really interested in Secrets of Saturn. I'm really glad that I helped everyone figure out where the chat was in the beginning.
Yeah,
so
that was
it
weird.
A huge success for me.
That was weird.
But I wanted to comment on the whole idea of the Pentatonic Scale and how Crow feels like there's this like evil vibe to it. May I comment on that?
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I mean, I left about half an hour before it ended, so I didn't catch him saying that he thought that was evil.
Well, not that he thought that was evil. It's just like talking to him all the time. I know that he doesn't appreciate metal music very much, and and just the idea of growing up with classical music. I always just really appreciated the complexity. So on a personal note, since everyone was talking about the Beatles a lot, and with the Beatles, it just goes over my head. Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't care about the Beatles, and I'm not impressed with their music at all. And I'm not saying it's bad music. I'm just saying my personal standpoint, coming from a place where since I was 4 years old, I'm listening to AM radio, classical music on the way to preschool and kindergarten. When I first happened to hear the Beatles for the first time, I just felt like it was baby music, like Barney. And so when I finally, pardon me, when I finally discovered heavy metal, I was like, oh, okay, so classical composers were the first metalheads. I'm not hearing something negative. I'm hearing just the complexity. I'm finally receiving the complexity again with different time signatures and different chord progressions. So what do you think of that, Baldini? Is that just the way that my brain developed? Is there how
I think
would you
I think part of it probably has to do with age, right? I mean, even the Beatles was probably just like, a little bit before my time, but putting it in context, right? It was a complete departure from what had happened prior. And so for many people, it was an entirely new paradigm. What we look back now and say, Hendrix did not play upside down and backwards. His guitar was upside down and backwards. Yeah, he strung it that way. So, okay, Beamer Region 4. That's it. You can look it up. I've been in this industry for a very long time, and I'm pretty good friends with the guy who recorded most of the Jimi Hendrix stuff. So there's that. I love it. Somebody remarked on there was a comment on the show last night. How come you guys never seriously looked at Q? Well, we did and didn't do an episode on it because it was seriously
It's Poppycock.
Yeah, it's like just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean we didn't look at it. I don't know. I love you guys. I love you guys, but there are people. I'm getting sidetracked, but there are people. For example, we was talking about the Mandela Effect with somebody last night, and they were. I said, well, I recall it this way, and they're like, I heard that theory too. It's like, well, it's not a matter of a theory. This is I remember these things like clearly like this, and they're remembering. I mean, I don't know if they're misremembering or whatever, or we had different experiences. That's fine, but they consider their experience legit, and my experience not, because it's not theirs. It's like, what? Well, okay, good, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just don't even want to give any more energy to it.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Now I have
anyway.
But
the point about one of the things about pentatonic scale, right, is that you got 5 notes. Typically, it's a pentatonic minor. So in the key of C, C, and then the minor third, and then a natural 4th and 5th with a flat 7. And you do slurs like that, and you revert back to major. So it gives you have a lot of grace notes, but it's typically just a 1-4-5 progression. You play the 1 and the 4 and the 5, and the way you arrange it. Typically 8 or 12 bar blues. 12 bar blues is the most standard thing. It's a very simple progression, but it allows for a lot of expression. And so again, as I mentioned last night, it's a great place for people who are newbies or neophytes just starting to play. You can do a lot with very little, and some people are very adept at it. But when it comes to, again, the Beatles being sort of like baby music, whatever, again, it was paradigm changing at the time. So people who grew up with it, right, it was amazing. So I had a friend, for example, who was a guitar player, and he wanted very badly for me and a couple other guys in the band, and this was when I was probably 15 or 16, and he was like 21, 22, and so he very badly wanted us to watch the Led Zeppelin movie, The Song Remains the Same, and was telling us about just that Jimmy Page played this amazing stuff, like just like mind blowing, and we watched it, and then what I watched was a complete drunk asshole barely able to play. And even he was recognizing, he goes, wow, it was just, hey, Eric, thank you so much, man. 322, I like it. But yeah, he had to admit that it was so mind blowing at the time when he was a kid, when he first saw it, because nobody had ever done that stuff, break out a bow and that sort of thing. But when you look at it with more modern eyes, we could see the guy was just drunk off his ass and just lost most of the time, and couldn't even hit the licks. And so, but it's a lot again about perspective, that you hadn't seen it before. When I can recall in like 1980, gosh, it would have been 1983. maybe something like that. 81, 82 perhaps. When the first, there had just been a Guitar Player magazine that had come out with Eddie Van Halen, now late Eddie Van Halen, and they quoted saying the headline was "The Fastest Fingers Alive." And yet the same month, I went and saw Yngwie Malmsteen play in Dallas with Billy Sheehan on bass with Talus opening. And that was the day I quit playing bass. When I saw Billy Sheehan play bass, I was like, man, I could play Geddy Lee, I could play Iron Maiden, I could play anything at the time. But I saw Billy play and I was like, fuck, if this is where bass playing is going, I'm not going to get there. Well, little did I know nobody else would either. I told Billy that later, and he laughed. He's like, "Oh, he's a super great guy." Anyway,
well, the best bass player is Steve Harris of Iron Maiden. I just had to throw that in.
See, I like Billy, but we're friends now, right? Because I work at audio industry manufacturers, and we just kind of became friends with a number of different people. Anyway, so I picked up the bass again later, but still can't play anything like it. But the point being that Yngwie played circles around Eddie Van Halen in terms of certainly speed, and he was using a lot of classical stuff, ripped off Paganini lines note for note. All this one. Meow 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 meow.
Okay, so we need to get into the Poppycock Baldini, but let me just throw in one more thing.
All right,
before
go
we
ahead.
Jump in.
Yep.
Okay, so I had three serious piano teachers growing up, and I started off with a classical piano teacher, the one who would take a stick and actually hit my wrists. You know what I mean? If I was resting my wrists on the wooden thing in front of you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, she would hit my wrists and counting out loud and flashcards and memorizing things, and I loved it. I love such a teacher's pet. And so I learned that, and now I'm a slave to sheet music. I can't play by ear, totally screwed. But then when I was a preteen, I found another teacher when I moved to Santa Barbara, and he was all about just improv and teaching me things that I didn't have any clue that there was all these formulas. This is how we talk, by the way. And so he taught me the circle of fifths and how you could take the circle of fifths, and the way that you can write a song is that you pick a chord and then you skip the one before it and you go to the one before that. And I was like, oh my gosh, so you could totally cheat. You don't even have to hear a song in your head. You can just create songs out of a formula. So that totally blew my mind. And I wish that someone had taught me that when I was younger, because then I could have probably become a Katy Perry or something like that. But then I'm just kidding. But then when I lived in Missoula, Montana, I had a piano teacher, and she reminded me of Ursula from The Little Mermaid, but nice. And and she had everything in her house was purple. Her walls were purple. Her house was purple. Her car was purple. And she never let me play anything difficult. All she cared about, she just wanted me to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with emotion and just moving my body around. And I
didn't know you ever lived in Missoula, Montana.
I did, because when I went,
people from Missoula.
It's the best. It's the greatest place. And see, what happened was I was sent to Bad Girl Boot Camp in Utah between my junior and senior year. And then they told me I couldn't go back to my own environment yet. And so they sent me to a place in Missoula, Montana, where I was living with other troubled teens. And that's when I went to the University of Missoula, Montana, before even graduating from high school. I took existentialism and acting.
Well, that'll fuck you up forever.
I know. See, this is why I'm crazy.
Oh, man. All
right. Do you want to just go through your Poppycock first? I have so much, but I kind of want to speed through it. And so you'll go through yours. Okay. And then and I also have a Florida man. Go ahead.
Okay. I do too, but I'll try to keep it. All right. So let's see where to begin. Cuomo, the governor of New York, and crime family. We all know. Anyway, he is now being accused of sexual harassment. Unsurprisingly, the hard left women who said once you believe all women when it was Kavanaugh are strangely silent about it. I happen to. I happened to just type in liberal hypocrisy in a Google search and look what came up.
That's such a good idea.
It filled in liberal hypocrisy in India. It just added in India. We're not going to talk about us. We're going to talk about that. Speaking of hypocrisy, so this is one of the things that has come up. Is, let's see if I can find this article. Pat Sajak, who's the host of Wheel of Fortune, has been for a very long time. He's come under fire recently for kind of mocking contestants. A few weeks back, he chided a contestant who questioned about the answer. The answer was kitchen oven, and he said, "Isn't that kind of redundant? I mean, where else are you going to have an oven?" And Sajak popped off on him and said, "Ungrateful, I've had it." But more recently, the contestant, I won't play it here, but he apparently had a lisp, and so he said, "I thee." In response, and he got a lot of trolls hitting him for that. However, this is a very interesting article, of course, from Vice. We know who they are, but this is kind of chilling overall, because here's the thing. It says this isn't the first time that some of Sajak's on-screen comments have been scrutinized. This one seems different, so they're harassing him for it and basically telling him he's an asshole. In fact, the title is called "Pat Sajak Has Always Been a Dick." That's the title. But what they're basically saying here, right, is what they're going after him for is his politics, and more so. They're saying that he was, and again, here's the hypocrisy. Unlike Sajak, late Jeopardy host Alex Trebek was rarely chided for anything other than his gloriously elaborate pronunciation of the word genre. He could slice a contestant to ribbons if he chose to. When Susan Cole appeared on the show, she described her fellow nerdcore enthusiasts as, quote, people who identify as nerdy, rapping about the things they love, video games, science fiction, having a hard time meeting romantic partners. Trebek paused for a beat before responding. So, in other words, losers. So he called her a loser to his face, but didn't get in any trouble. Why? But he was largely spared the criticism that attaches itself to Sajak, possibly because he was smart enough to swerve social media and rarely discussed his politics in public. So here, the idea is it's okay if you have the right politics. You can do whatever you want. If you have politics we don't like, we're going to lambaste you. And specifically, again, they're calling him out for global warming skepticism, for calling the mask face diapers, and going after them for calling everybody racist. I noted somebody else said today, well, if you're going to attack racist, then you're going to get pushback because you're going to make some racists angry. No, if you call everything racist, math is racist, you're going to get pushback because it's retarded. Not just the R word, it's
it's totally fucking retarded.
So, but here's what I want to point out about all this, right? It's not just the hypocrisy knowing no bounds. That these are I would say, not the first, but the second, third steps of this is how you dehumanize people before you intend to do bad things to them. This is exactly what we saw. Now everybody compares it to Nazi Germany, but it's exactly what they did to the populations that they didn't want, from Jews to gypsies to homosexuals, is they dehumanize them so that they can do whatever they want and you'll applaud it. And this is exactly the language that they're seeing used. And it really has nothing to do. They're calling it politics, and they're certainly, again, lumping us all together like the Q tag that appears on our show. Again, we're obviously not cubies here. We've mocked it several times, but they got to find something to throw us in on. So this is how they do it. They lump everybody together and then they dehumanize you before they intend to get rid of you. So just be aware of that. Again, I'm not trying to be overly, I'm just saying, keep your eyes out. And this is the way they do. They're behaving in a way that is leading in bad places. It is funny how Trump finally gets off the stage, as they wanted real bad, but they still can't let it go. Right here, front and center on CNN, Trump plotting his future and revenge. It's interesting. So, in fact, here we go with climate change. Biden has tapped a 14-year-old table tennis player to support climate efforts. Really? I mean, really? The fact that the original headline said that he's Biden taps a 14-year-old prodigy to help with climate change. I'm like, what the hell? And it turns out the prodigy she's a ping pong player. That's her that's her claim to fame.
I've got so much bullshit about climate change and this dude that they have as
it's nonsense. So the other big one that I have this morning is of course this bit, which is that amid COVID-19 pandemic, flu has disappeared in the U.S.
Yeah, I was going to cover that one too. I mean, they've been saying that for a while, but they just keep trying to drill it into people's heads. And I just imagine the social engineers at the boardroom just being like, we keep telling them the truth. We keep giving them hints. We keep putting it right in front of their fucking faces. And they still don't get it.
I think there are people actually in the media who are literally so dumb that they don't realize, again, they're being played. And they're like, wow, look at this. They just didn't get the memo. Right. But flu season never came to the southern hemisphere.
Oh, they got the memo. They only got the memo that was intended for them to regurgitate and parrot.
Right. Do you have a cold, the flu, or COVID-19? There was even an article say, what do you do if you have both? How the scientists knew COVID-19 is way deadlier than the flu. Flu season in Canada is exceptionally low. Nonsense. And of course, the new strains that they're coming out with. Oh, there's a new strain in New York. Oh, they're going to keep it going with a new strain every 5 minutes. So again, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm sure everybody here has, but for those who haven't yet figured it out, that 2 weeks to flatten the curve, now a year in, they never intended this to end. And they are, moreover, going to keep pushing this new strains and this and that. They're using it as a form of control. It's easy peasy. You know why? Because most people are going along with it like dickless cucks. Sorry about that, but they are. Well, here in Seattle, many businesses are leaving downtown because it sucks. They keep bringing all the homeless in and doing all, it's their, I hate to say liberal policies. It's their whatever policy, that NWO policy. It is just, it's just nuts. Let's see. Oh, Facebook banning Myanmar military accounts. So again, everybody, they claim it's all in for the good, but anytime there's censorship of any kind, beware, because it's never a good thing. Pushing people to get the jab, and they've done this in a number of different ways by telling you how excited people are to get it. A 90-year-old woman walked 6 miles in the snow in Seattle to get her jab. Young people dressing up as old people to get their jab, doing anything they can to get that jab. That's again creating an artificial bit of nonsense. So, and here's NASA Perseverance taking a picture of its own landing. Okay. And then we have, NASA Perseverance. So we have pictures coming from Mars, but you click on the first one and it's an artist rendering, because that's how they do. Quick Florida man, a couple of them here. The shot his neighbor in a heated dispute about ducks and geese. I guess what's good for the goose is good for a gander. Though this guy blacked out before using scissors to sever his wife's lover's penis. I don't know, man. Florida man, get it together. Embezzlement. There is still embezzlement going on.
Baldini, why are there so many cutting off dick stories in the news all the time? It's like,
I don't know.
Think that was. I think more people.
It started with John Wayne Bobbitt.
Yeah. It's happening more in the news than people are dying of COVID, it seems.
It almost seems that way. It started with John Wayne Bobbitt, right? John Wayne Bobbitt. I come on, right? So John Wayne was supposed to be, the picture of American masculinity, although there's a lot of inside stories that he was queer as a football bat. But anyway, but he was held up as being this icon of American masculinity, and all that was good. But so John Wayne and Bobbitt, you just lop it off there, right? Nonsense. It's poppycock. And now it's poppycock. So we have again with the embezzlement a mixture of things. We have current things. The manager faces charges, arrested amid embezzlement. We also have the former. So we have a mixture of former and the charges. So the language that they use, I find really interesting how it goes from one to the other. There's a former thing, or there's an amount.
Yeah, former idea is
right,
so
or there is they get there's a consequence to it. They plead guilty, they're convicted, and so we have former Mississippi gets 16-month sentence, right? Embezzlement investigation, no contest. Hartford man not guilty. So we have this combination of the results of it or former something amount. It's pretty interesting. Let's see what else we got here. coronavirus. Like with each dose, hope grows. Science will win. Yeah, the nonsense. Here's another good one. Russia. The Germans are calling Russia now. This guy's he's being charged with espionage. You know what he did? He took PDF files that were available online, downloaded them, and gave them to somebody, a Russian person, of the layout of the building. Is available online. You can download it, PDF, emailed it to somebody, and now he's being charged with espionage for that because of the Russians. There was a big deal made we talked about Bruce Springsteen, the boss. Of course, boss spelled backwards is double S-O-B. Anyway, he, of course, had a controversial advert in the Super Bowl, and then shortly thereafter, it was announced that he was up on DUI charges. But nobody seemed to catch that the DWI charges were from November. They were actually before the Super Bowl.
We always do that. Baldini, we find an article like this all the time where it's bringing up something from the past. What was the last one that you can recall? Wasn't there one?
There's been
was
several.
It with
it's all
Tom
the
Hanks
time.
or something becoming a Greek citizen?
Yeah. It's it's like 2 years ago, and so they do this. They recycle these stories as though they're new. It's fascinating. So the flu is gone. Let's see. There's that person. What else do we got? I want to keep my anti-vaxxer family away from my newborn. I've explained why,
I saw that one too.
But they don't understand. Of course, that's the place people go when they don't have any idea what they're saying. You don't understand. I'm sick and tired. Again, the language that they use, anti-vaxxer. We saw the one Mac Parhar. By the way, please support him, Flatter Fokker, as he is getting ready for his legal proceedings. But he was streaming yesterday, right? Everybody was talking about there's a thing in the CBC about a guy who goes into a tire store without a mask, and they assault him. They physically assault him, throw a punch at him, drag 6 guys, drag him to the ground, and put a chokehold on him. And then in the news, they say that he attacked it. They just reversed the narrative, say he attacked them. He started it. He clearly did not. They continue. And it was all better because some grandmother in the neighborhood brought them baked goods, so they would feel better. And they said that they were afraid. If they were so afraid of it, why are they going to get in physical contact with the guy? It is, again, a bunch of nonsense. But this is the language that they use, again, to marginalize and dehumanize people. You're an anti-vaxxer. How about we do research? Right? We're investigators and researchers. But I found, this is coming back. This was interesting. I typed in liberal hypocrisy, hit enter, and it came back liberal hypocrisy in India. Because it never happens here.
Let's pick another word to put with hypocrisy. What's another word to add? What about conservative hypocrisy? Just to see it. Is there going to be conservative hypocrisy in another country?
Let's do it. Let's do conservative hypocrisy. Moral hypocrisy of conservative leaders. What are examples of?
Then they're fine talking about it in America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about coronavirus hypocrisy? What if you type that in the search bar? That's some truth at the top. Policymakers breaking their own rules.
Yeah, 50 different politicians like Ted Cruz, that stuff, or COVID hypocrisy. So
they're attaching it to a different side of the division, of course.
NWO hypocrisy. They're saying now hypocrisy.
We'll fix it. Tell them who's boss. New World Order.
Politics of good intentions. Fear and hypocrisy.
I'm glad that you got the India one because that was interesting, and I have India too. Okay, Baldini, you have to hurry up because I'm really feeling impatient now.
I'm almost done. I have just one or two more. So we have this. Of course, you guys have seen this numerous occasions. This ridiculousness of people in orchestra and band using masks with holes in them because that's effective to play their instruments. Well, we got this one. If you thought that was bad.
Oh my. And interesting that color choice. Of course, we've got the bright green, which is so associated with poison and disease. Yep. Oh, and look, they've got a 29, which is a 9/11 encode. Oh, and somebody asked me, someone texted me saying, I don't understand why 772 is a 9/11. So if you add 7 to 2, it becomes a 9. And the 2 is 2-1. So within the 2, you've got on both sides the 9/11. I hope that makes sense.
Yep, it's all over the place, and they love to do it, right? They love the inversions. They love to mix it up a little bit. But okay, so with that, I'm just going to I'll wrap up with this. Don't forget our friend Brian Jackson. You guys have been awesome donating to him. If you can, please do so. Just hit the I'll give you the GoFundMe page here real quick because. We take care of our own. That's all I got to say about that. We that's what's the best part about this group is love. Let me add this real quick. Ceiling Fan Man hit his backup channel. Support him. He's an awesome guy, and just spent last weekend at his place. He even made a video about it called Mr. Potato Head. But it's I know it seems rude, but anyway. But yeah, we had a great time. Ted Sommer, subscribe to his channel if you have not. He's only got 526 subscribers, and he's one of the most awesome people in our community and a sexy beast of a man, an absolute unit. So please support Ted Sommer by going to his channel. He's got some good stuff there. And then just a random one today.
Wait. I just want to say that everything you said was 100% correct. Continue.
Awesome. Thank you. And Freedom Grower, just another random guy in the community. I just wanted to shout out Freedom Grower. Basically just does rants and plays his guitar. I love it. It's awesome. So there you have that. Supporting the people that we care about and love. Take care of our own. All right.
Yes. My turn.
I wrap.
All right, everyone, listen to me. Lacey is in the chat right now as we speak. And on Tuesday, I was freaking out before the show because I was trying to confirm her Etsy shop because she makes decals that are so freaking cool. Like one says Traitor Joe's and it has like a capital build. Oh, I wish I took a pic. I should have taken a pic. But listen, everybody. You need to go to her Etsy shop. It's called Mariposa Airy. I'm going to type it out so everyone can see it. So there's that. And then there's Daniel Bristow's The Free Human Being Project out of Colorado, where he donates to proceeds to businesses. So I'll put that in the chat as well. And I must be forgetting. Well, at least I got through 2 today. I just also want to thank Grounded Extracts again for sending me those wonderful tinctures I took there. If you want to check out at Grounded Extracts at Instagram, check out their stuff. I took some iron supplements that they sent me, some kratom, some CBD oil. Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And then there's turmeric that also has pepper in it, because you know how turmeric and pepper go together. And I really don't like the taste of alcohol. And I've been really proud of myself for taking my supplements. And so I did reward myself with a Thin Mint from the Girl Scouts. Baldini, forgive me.
Are those Girl Scout cookies made with real Girl Scouts?
Hey, stop. Don't even go there. Don't even go there, Baldini.
Is ginger ale made with real gingers? I don't know.
Probably not. I love you so much, Grounded Extracts. It's so good to see you. Please post your Instagram there. So, okay, let's get into Poppycock. Wait, is Lacey here? Did Lacey hear me mention her? Oh, and also Imperio Salsa. Everyone, post Imperio Salsa. Help me out here. I just really want to jump into the Poppycock because we're running out of time, and then I'm going to post all those things. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. I have all this stuff uploaded here. I think some of the stuff that you went through, I'm going to burn through it because there's probably too much here. Oh, first of all, remember I told you about the decks?
Yeah.
That were dropped off. Well, somebody in the comments really wanted to confirm that they are okay and they were all saved. And so I went to the Facebook group for the neighborhood, and the first picture I saw was this. Chilling like villains, and there's the lake in the background. So yes, they are happy and safe, and everybody loves them. So that's the good news. And then did you see this one, Baldini? Space fans crack secret message on NASA's Mars parachute. So I guess they zoomed in on it, and they found words and stuff and things like dare mighty things in the orange and white stripes of the 70-foot, 21-meter parachute. He also included GPS coordinates for the mission's headquarters, blah, blah, blah. That's a bunch of poppycock. What do you think about that, Baldini?
Oh, dear.
They just had to... Wait, did they pause the parachute and at that particular frame there was a message? It doesn't make any sense. It's retarded. Yeah. Oh, and check this out. Melanie Moran forwarded me this email from someone. It turns out that Traitor Joe's is now allowing one maskless person into the store at a time, which is still retarded, but at least it's some kind of improvement. And so I just hope that maybe lots of maskless people will show up. And even though you might have to wait in line a little bit, maybe Trader Joe's will start to learn about how much business they could be potentially missing by doing that. I don't know. What do you think about trying to support these businesses that have given people a particular hard time? Do we force them to be cool, or do we just leave them in the dust? Hit the curb, Trader Joe's.
I think, I'm never big on blanket policies, right? So I would say on a case-by-case basis, there are some who have behaved in such an egregious manner. I would just say, fuck the fucking fuckers. I'll never give them a penny of my money ever. Right. There are others who, there's a couple of people who did poorly. The owner didn't support their actions. People behave out of fear, and the whole thing we talk about, the victim consciousness, and they think they're heroes for doing it. A case-by-case basis. I'm not going to take every business at which I've had a problem and throw them under the bus.
I agree with you, but I'm asking you about Trader Joe's specifically.
Specifically, I haven't been back, and really, they didn't give me they were Nazis at the door for sure. They never turned me down for the exemption, but they did behave they were rude and aggressive. I haven't been back, and I loved Trader Joe's. I still have things I like from there. I haven't been back since. So I haven't been back since
either. Jason, see, we know that a lot of the people working at these places, like, they just have to ask, like, dear Musk, and so they're just being robots, and and sometimes it's not like a personal vendetta, and they don't actually give a shit. But the way that they ask, sometimes we're just like, we're never coming back here again, and we just can't go to Trader Joe's because it's just too retarded. But Jason's daughter stopped at Trader Joe's as a surprise and brought me everything bagel seasoning and my everyday seasoning, which I could have ordered online, but still the company is receiving the funds. And so, yeah, it's a dilemma, but I read the ingredients on those seasonings, and guess what, Baldini? All of the ingredients in the seasonings are readily available that I can make them myself if I truly wanted to not be lazy.
Yeah.
Well, check it out. Don't go down the rabbit hole, Baldini. Critical thinking, as we're taught to do it, isn't helping in the
I've seen
fight
this a
against
dozen times.
misinformation.
Yeah. Don't look yourself. Don't try to figure it out. Just listen to the experts.
The truth cannot be found, everyone. Just fall into a place of solipsism. The truth can't be known, so just watch your television.
Listen to our science. We have sciencey science that exists. That's a perfect example of science.
The more masks you add. Guess who sent me this one? My dad texted me some Poppycock, and I was like, Dad, this is insane. I can't believe that his ears are exposed. Look at all these holes.
Oh my gosh.
Look at these holes. The virus can come out of his ears. I can't believe this guy is so unsafe.
What about his butt? What about his butthole?
There's at least 20 nanas down the freaking drain because of his ear holes. And look at this toy that they're selling at the supermarket. It's just getting everyone ready. There it is. The name of the pill is side effects. How truthful is that?
That freaked me the hell out. I'm serious, because that is, I mean, it couldn't be more blatant. Like, here, take these drugs, and they're bad for you, but don't ever take natural remedies, because that's snake oil.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Oh, and speaking of which, is a good time to bring up that I'm so excited because we will be recording a second episode with Amanda Vollmer tomorrow, actually.
Oh, awesome.
And so it'll probably take a week or two for it to come out. But oh, goodness gracious. Dave Weiss said on Journalism Raw on Monday night, and he reminded me too this morning in a text message, that he's been taking her eye drops, and he's not ready to claim a miracle quite yet, but he definitely thinks that it's helping. And I'm just so interested in DMSO, and I sent both of my moms, my stepmom and my real mom, the facelift in a jar, and I probably should have sent it to myself, but they really are into that kind of stuff, like keeping their face young. I mean, I want to look young too, and I probably should start accepting the fact that I'm getting older, but anyway, they are critical, and I will be looking forward to their review. I just want to shove all these nutrients into my body with DMSO. I just have to I have to buy her book so I can get the right percentages.
I've been people have sent me a bunch of stuff. Thank you so much, and recommended even more stuff. And I have had to take it one at a time, right? Because if I put everything in at once, that not only might they interact, but also no idea which one's working, which one's not. So I had to kind of go through a little bit. So just today, yesterday, I started I went from one group to another group, so I guess I can say, immediately I went from feeling pretty good to suddenly not good, so I can chalk that up. I'll go a few more days. I've been going a week at a time, but we'll we'll see how it goes. But yeah, you got to. It's a process, right? And so we were just talking about this actually before we started. I can't, without insurance, because I'm a private contractor. I couldn't afford the medical wild goose chase of trying to figure out what's going on with me. Narrowed it down pretty good. Did get some blood work, and again, I'm not a big fan of allopathic medicine for sure, but I also, they have some technology, imaging, that sort of thing, so it could at least give me better information, right? Just the blood work, for example, was very enlightening. Made my wife really upset because my cholesterol is perfect. Better than perfect. Like most of my stuff is perfect, except for the liver panel, which had elevated enzymes, and probably an issue with the CBD, or potentially it could be cyclic vomiting syndrome. We don't know. I got distracted. Anyway, so yeah, the idea she's suggesting that, because I have paid cash for everything for years and years and years, and
fuck it, Baldini, you gotta stop being brainwashed. Stop being brainwashed. The allopathic model is a system of genocidal slavery,
and it's not just that, right?
You don't need to pay them.
It is this idea that, as we mentioned before, intellectually I understand that it's programming, but I can't help that I still have this feeling it's been drilled into me that people, you pay your bills, good. People who have money, good. People who don't have money, bad. You don't pay your bills, bad. And that's bullshit, right? Money is not equal to, is not the same as.
Sometimes when you don't pay your bills, it really hurts people. Or if you steal from people, like if you steal inventory from a store, or if you rob someone's, like if you don't pay someone that you have made a contract with, an agreement, like if it causes harm, that's immoral. Do no harm, take no shit.
Right.
But when you have $1 million bill for whatever, not you, but like in general, if you have such an exorbitant amount of money that can never possibly be paid, then you kind of learn that nobody is being harmed, and it's really just actually the hospital administrators that are making most of the profit, and the companies that are seeking to control, enslave, and kill people.
$35 for an Advil.
Or a piece of gauze, or a Band-Aid, or a catheter. Right. It's so messed up, Baldini. So, I mean, we were talking about this before the show. I chose just to try and be under the radar in the world and not own things, so that I have nothing to lose as soon as all of my medical bills went up. I think it was in 2013 when I realized, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, I had broken my leg in Philadelphia, and they sent me a bill for like $200,000, and I was on top of everything already in my life. So I just thought, I'm just not going to own anything, and it's kind of like taxes. Just fuck the fucking fuckers is all I'm going to say.
And like Jose Nunez says, that was my wife's advice, right? I've never filed bankruptcy, right? Never. I've struggled. I mean, most of my life I did really well, and then the last few years there was a lot of stuff happened just unexpectedly, and it put us in a very difficult situation. But I've always kind of kept up and didn't really have too many problems in that area. Feast or famine in my industry, but at this juncture, she's like, yeah, just go into the emergency room. They have to take care of you, get it all taken care of at once, and then file bankruptcy. I'm like, well, I don't know about that.
I think you just throw away the bill. I really do. I think just try that. I've been doing it for fucking.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is try to get insurance company coverage. They've reopened the exchange till March 15th. So I'm going to try to get something that will both do medical and dental, so I can get some of the dental work covered. And then we'll take it from there. But I'm going to address it and then just be done with the shit, because otherwise I'm in really good health. But this one thing is it's fucking my life up right now.
And also, you can't take any money with you when you go.
No.
They're of no use to us if you're dead and if you're in pain. So just, I love you, and let's get better. All right, let's move on with the Poppycock. What do you think? I have so much, and it's already 4:30. 43 minutes.
I have just one more to throw in here, which is Tiger Woods. Some Poppycock here. He rolled down apparently a hill, at the bottom of which, and in the sign you can clearly see it said Rolling Hills, because he rolled down the hills into the woods. So Tiger Woods. He doesn't remember being in the California car crash, because probably he wasn't. But he is considering leaving golf to join the Navy SEALs. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Stolen valor. I don't know, man. This Tiger wanted to be a SEAL, a Tiger SEAL. What the? I don't know, man. I'm done.
Sabuske, you know what? You only live once.
Forget about it. Bada bingo.
Hey, speaking of, semantics and dialect and all that stuff, I'm really annoyed at Louisiana because they don't know how to talk right. Look, don't litter it. In my opinion, they could just leave it at don't litter. Don't litter, period. Don't litter it.
Don't litter it.
Don't litter it.
It's because they're illiterate.
Thank you, Baldini. I was hoping you would pick up on that. I'm like, am I reading some illiteracy about don't littering it? You went right for it. Look, I thought this was funny, trying to protect my mental health. Yeah. I still don't approve. You can't let this kind of object anywhere near your body as far as I'm concerned. It's just too offensive. Oh, look at this. Somebody's really upset about the white silhouette, and so they can correct it. And so let's change the logo, make it more accurate.
Oh my God. Be less white. Is that the
right. Look, the problem is white supremacy is the big epidemic. It's the new terrorist, and we need to stop the white supremacy. And then look, people are talking about the mutation. Everyone, it's mutating.
It's the big apple
version. The virus
is
mutating.
It's
Everyone must be
B1526.
concerned about the variant. What is this here? Oh, but the paper did point out that the study has not been peer-reviewed. Not that we really put much stock into peer-reviewed studies because it's all triggered. But it's just funny that by their standards, they're just being like, we're saying all these things, and even by our own standards, it's all bullshit.
Yep.
Okay. And then look, it's so sad that girls can't do sports anymore, Baldini.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Biological girls. Because biological females can't compete with the transgender, and so it's very disappointing.
But as long as you identify, just like what we showed here, if you I got up here, it finally happened. We talked about this on Tuesday. So Ted, the polar bear, got his pink slip. We said he would. He got his pink slip from Coca-Cola. I'm sharing it over on the other screen here. Finally got his pink slip for being too white. He should have identified as a grizzly. If he would just shave his hair, their skin is actually rather dark. It's their fur is clear.
Yeah, and they could have done that.
Yeah. So anyway, we got that going, which is nice. Also, this guy.
Baldini, I just want to solve the problem again. I solved the problem on Tuesday with saying that he should have identified as black. But in this situation with the sports, the biological females just need to identify as the winner.
Oh, snap. Again.
Thank you, everybody, for your support in helping my brain to grow this big.
I have identified as running a 4.40. So, there you go. I need to get paid for that.
This is big news here. Khloe Kardashian is so sad because everyone says she has freakishly long fingers. Oh, but then here,
nice.
More white supremacy. Yeah. It's a pentagon. It's just so disturbing how much white supremacists are everywhere.
Yeah. Because if you drink Coca-Cola, you're too white.
Oh, you're showing something now.
Right.
You're injecting your pop. I let you go on your Poppycock over and over and over again. And now it's my turn for Poppycock, and you keep bringing up more Poppycock. But you have good Poppycock, so go ahead.
I was just sneaking him in. This guy got a 2.4 GPA in college. He wasn't cut out for engineering today. I've landed 2 spacecraft on Mars and designing one for the moon. No, you're not. STEM is hard for everyone. Grades ultimately aren't what matter. Curiosity and perseverance, man. Oh, that was such a great job. You're full of shit. And this is I picked this one up from Facebook. Somebody had reported. Actually, all they did was show the results of vaccine response, and there was a list of about 14 women who were pregnant got miscarriages, but the fact checkers got to come in and say, oh no, it's not proof. Miscarriage reports not proof that it's a danger to pregnancy. They're just liars. This one is an ad that pointed out what I've been saying is that they're telling you the grid is going to go down. So we got that. So first it was $25 grocery bonus if you got the free flu jab. Now you can get a free anal bleaching with a vaccine. So if you're going to get butt raped by the government, you might as well dress the part, I guess. Just this guy, take a look at this. We're told it's the same fellow, and it doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, that was me. That's authentic. Poppycock, I'm done.
Okay, good. Now it's my turn.
Oh, yeah.
Look, India's reported COVID-19 cases have plunged since September. Very interesting, right? And don't you also find it interesting that they also point out that it probably has nothing to do with the vaccine? Like, this is just another example of them just shoving it in everyone's face. It's like, hello, we're all telling you to do something that is going to hurt you and that makes no sense, but we're even going to put out evidence that it has nothing to do with anything that we say it has to do with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a meme going around that, it's like... Yeah. Okay. So, guy has a car accident. He's got COVID. Died of COVID. Guy has pneumonia and died of COVID. Guy gets hit by a truck with COVID. Dies of COVID. Guy gets a jab. Dies. Oh, it's because he was old.
I also looked up just different things in the news that have to do with conspiracy theories. And obviously, the only things that have to do with conspiracy theories, because this is like a buzzword to make people that look into conspiracies, like real conspiracies, look bad. And it's like, oh, people are claiming that snow in Texas is fake. I mean, obviously, no one is actually going to think that. What they probably should be talking about is the fact that the snow can be tested and proven to have tons of heavy metals and pollutants and poisons in them.
They're not saying it's fake.
It's not melting.
They're saying it's not organic. It's been created because you can light it on fire. That indicates that there's something wrong with it, right? That it is weather control. It's weather modification. I'm not saying it's fake. Oh, I get
crazy.
so mad at the media. And this is why we do this, but
it's why we do this. And we're showing everyone how everything is ramping up exponentially. And we are saying, hey, look, they're probably going to tell us to wear, 2 masks. And look, they did it. They are now saying 2 masks. And we thought it was funny when they're like, hey, because when you think about their definition of a vaccine, it doesn't make sense that you would ever need a booster shot or a second shot. But now they're talking about a 3rd dose. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the gift that keeps on giving. You're going to have to get your new COVID vaccine every month. I am going to make a prediction right now. I don't know when, but it seems like they're going in that direction. Oh, and then here's another example of just like how the titles are misleading. It says here, Netflix wants you to binge watch more Korean dramas. And so you're thinking, I wonder why a company like Netflix would want someone to watch Korean dramas in particular compared to everything else. But then when you look at the article, it just says there was a big billboard in Korea and that 22 million people watched a show on Netflix in Korea. There was a billboard. Like, wow. So they just really...
Wow.
It's insane. And then, here we go. 22 million. Of course, 22, the master builder number. Oh, here's another thing. Holly. What's up, Holly Bear? She sent me this picture that she saw someone wrote here, look. Realize, realize, realize. You know that phrase? Mm-hmm, and so it was really cool for her to see that there because she knew that person must be a truther, And so I zoomed in on it here. Realize, realize, realize. And then this is where she saw. Isn't that gorgeous? What a beautiful day. She's in New York. Moving on. Look, the Sandy Hook survivor is speaking out for the first time. And of course, she seems like a really nice person too. It's just hard to accept that she's full of shit because you're a liar. You are a liar. And she says the survivor's trauma is made worse by Sandy Hook deniers. Yes, I am denying. She says, when people are denying Sandy Hook, it's just so invalidating. Yes, that is correct. I am invalidating your claim. Sandy Hook was fake. No, that supposed school didn't even have an internet connection since 2008 or wheelchair accessibility. You guys are freaking crazy. And yes, it was really tugging at my heartstrings. I was like, I kind of want to believe this girl because she's so cute and nice, but I know that she's lying. And so, I mean, for someone who doesn't know any better, that it would be really brainwashing to see that little video. Did you see this guy, Baldini?
What's the context?
Okay, this is the guy from Canada. He went back to Canada, landed on the plane, and he refused the test. And the way that this video goes, I'll have to send you a link to it. He really just stood his ground and proved that it's all bullshit. No one can be forced to take this test, and he's ignoring the quarantine. He's pretty much doing what Mac did, and so I don't understand why Mac is getting in trouble, but this guy gets on Alex Jones. So who knows what's really going on there? But he did
Alex
prove.
Jones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably just saw it and they just reached out. Like when we had Dr. Kaufman on our show, for the first time shortly after, and this goes to show that people are listening to Crow 777 radio, that's when Alex Jones reached out to him. So they're just probably wanting interesting people, like anyone who has an entertainment channel. But then Richie from Boston reached out. I don't even know if people remember this or know this. Richie from Boston reached out to Andrew Kaufman and was like, hey, like, do you want to come on the show? I heard you on Crow. And he was like, yeah. He mentioned he was also invited to go on Alex Jones. And then Richie from Boston said, Alex Jones, that guy's a shill. If you go on Alex Jones, then I don't want you to come on my show. And then Andrew Kaufman said, well, I'm going to look into my heart and soul. And he decided not to go on Alex Jones and to go on to Richie Boston instead. So that's the difference between those two people. But I mean, this guy probably doesn't even know about Crow 777 radio.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. Guys, please let me just really quickly say, in the truth community, come on, we have different views, and sometimes if you get a platform to say something, if I got a call tomorrow from CNN. And they were asking my views, I would consider it. I know that it would probably be a hit piece, so I probably wouldn't. But if I had the opportunity to spread the word to a bunch of people, and I thought that I could well and lucidly tell the story, much like David Weiss does, right? So kudos to him and Mark Sargent, who they'll take all comers to get the word out there. They know it's going to be a hit piece, and they say, fuck the fucking fuckers if people get the information. So don't kill the messenger, right? And keep in mind that even people like Alex Jones that we know are, obviously no, but yeah, a 99% controlled opposition, but still they're throwing out a bunch of truth. Just eat the meat, throw the bones. If you lack discernment and you're going to follow a person and accept everything that they say, you're not qualified to be here. I'm sorry. Like, that's not even baby truth. Or if that's your attitude, you pick somebody, whether it's Crow or whether it's Jason or me or Wayne or anybody, and you go, I believe everything they say. No, get out. You got to figure this out for yourself. We're giving you enough information. It's one thing that I loved about Crow is just helping ask the right questions. I never accepted anything he said, but he pointed me in some things that I hadn't thought about. And when I went and did the research, I went, son of a bitch. As it turns out, why not? And so asking the right questions, that's the thing. Anyway, I gotta just say, you're not helping when you do this bullshit and calling and then attacking people in our own community.
Are you saying that because I wasn't looking at the chat? Was it because people were criticizing Dr. Kaufman?
No, I was just thinking honestly about or about
Alex Jones. I don't even know where this came from, or like what you're.
So and I mean, so yesterday, Mac Barhar, Flat Earth Fucker, he did a stream and he showed the guy again from Canada at the tire store, and there were people going, "Oh, it's a psyop," except for that 8 or 9 people in the chat know the guy personally. Right, he's definitely not a psyop, not a setup. Again, then they just know, nope, you guys are all shills then because. Really? And I just go, no, stop it, right? Stop calling everybody a shill. And even if you think they are, shut up, right? I mean, there are people that I'm suspicious of who put out content. I don't have to go I'm not going to do 30 streams, 12 hours each, going on a rampage saying that I think this guy's disingenuous or potentially compromised. You figure it out yourself. Right. If you're not qualified to be a researcher if you're just accepting other people's word for it.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I did this before we ended. We only have a couple minutes. I didn't get to go through my Poppycock. Let me see how much I can get through it.
I'll stay here until you're done. I'll make that commitment.
No worries. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anybody. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. I'm not going to forget because I have it right here. All right. What did I... Oh, yeah, we were talking about the idea of the climate lockdown. So first there was the COVID lockdowns, and now there's all the geoengineering that's causing this crazy weather. And so climate lockdowns, there was this video here, and I think there's a couple screenshots, and thank you to David Weiss for sending this to me. In this video, there was just countless examples of different legislations and ideas that they're putting across to get people ready for this idea.
Wow.
And then this one right here is just where basically it's putting the environment is prioritized over human life. It's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Or just reading here, President of the United States of America Yeah, it's just talking about the bulk power systems and how they're going to have to do special things in order to preserve the vital emergency services. They always use emergencies in order to justify different incremental steps, aka Overton window, in order to close this this iron-fisted control that they are trying to get upon us. And it is so frustrating because you were just literally seeing it unfold before our eyes.
Damn.
And then, okay, the Free Human Being Project that I was telling you about. So they're supporting small businesses during this time. 25% of sales will be donated. And they have really cool shirts. And Daniel sent me a shirt. So just go check out the Free Human Being Project. So I talked about Lacey's Etsy shop. Oh, maybe I could just go there. I've never done Etsy, though. I'm afraid it's going to make me want to log in. But here, I'm going to just go to Lacey's shop, but let me see what else here. What other Poppycock? Oh, maybe I did go through my Poppycock. Wow, Baldini, at 59 minutes and 49 seconds, I think we both got through our Poppycock. Do you have any more Poppycock that you
I have just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
So ghost particle travels 750 million light years, ends up buried under the Antarctic ice, as they show this image. From a movie, actually. That's they say credit DESY Science Communication Labs, but it's actually Event Horizon. So
it looks really real,
doesn't it?
Yeah, so something that you'd see right here on Earth sometime.
Right, exactly. Two supermassive black holes. It's just nonsense. But here we go. Just a couple of more shout outs. Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock shot to David Weiss. Go get this. Go get this and share it with your friends, or just use it. Also, don't forget, coming up, I hit Flattoberfest, but it's actually the Solar Return is what I'm looking for. So, the Solar Return celebration, March 27. Don't forget to show up for that. Also on March 20th in Shelton, Washington, a little meetup with ceiling fan man David Weiss. No, not David Weiss. Mark Sargent and the great Baldini will be there as well, and a few other folks. So if you get a chance to hang out with people like-minded, it really helps. It really helps your spirit. It's uplifting. I highly recommend it. So I'm going to do my best to be at all of these because ever since going to Flattoberfest 2020, thank you, Karen B. It changed my life. I was frankly terrified of going, not really of going, but I've become such a recluse, and I just. I didn't want to be overwhelmed. But
what did I tell you would happen, Baldini? And was I correct when I said you're going to have an overwhelming, uncontrollable amount of anxiety, which was going to soon be replaced by heavy euphoria?
It is, and I still haven't.
I was correct.
I really haven't come down from that. So, and spending time with Zach and Cammie was just like, and ultimately kind of has led to a variety of things, including me looking toward the southeast to move to. So it's just a wild thing. So take the time to get to know people in our community, and then please stop attacking others, even if you think that they're wrong. Right? Just accept that you can disagree about it or have different takes, but it's not helping anybody. It makes us look bad. Please stop. Anyway, love you guys. Love you, Rose. So glad that you're doing better. I love to hear the cheer in your voice. I hope that I will be feeling better soon as well. I'm trying all this stuff. And again, thank you to everybody who sent kind words and prayers and products and good stuff. A couple of last things. I'll tease this for next week. I'll begin doing a little contest here. We'll figure out how to do it, but I want to give away some of Scooter's Fuck the Fucking Fuckers shirts. You've seen those already, and they're making the rounds, so I want to just buy a few of those and send them out to folks. And I still have some I Do Not Consent stickers, Stop the End the Masquerade, and a couple of other stickers. So happy to send those out again to anybody who wants those. So we'll do that beginning next week, so that you can continue to spread the word. And that is what I got for today.
Thank you very much, Baldini, and thank you to everyone who's been listening. I am streaming to the Facebook pages, Flat Earth News and Reports. What's up to everyone out there on the Flat Earth News and Reports Facebook page? And then I'm also streaming to my Twitch channel in lieu of DLive, because DLive is lame and what they did to people that I care about sucks. So I don't think anybody's subscribed to me on Twitch, and I don't know if anything's going to come of that channel. But hey, if you happen to use it, then go ahead and follow, and maybe we can pump up algorithms on Twitch and people can randomly happen upon the show. And I also was thinking of streaming Crow 777 Radio first hour episodes to that as well, if anybody wants to hang out over there, and then you can set up your notifications. And I will not forget again to let's play the song on the way out. Baldini, what do you say? And then we'll highlight some comments.
We had some folks go, hey, dude, what happened to that? And I'm like, no, that I do that. Rose didn't, but now she's doing it, so you guys can chat on the way out. So
all
it's
right,
not
everyone.
a hard ending. Love you guys so much. Take care, and we'll see you again next week.
Cheers, everyone.
1, 2, 3. Cocks don't pop at all, poppycock cocks do poppy by far. And that's why all the folks on poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on poppycock back in the poppycock hills, they won't let me back on poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini.
Hope it is.
The earth don't spin at all on poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. And beer don't stick to balls on poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no poppycock about that. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Take a tray.
Please be safe. Poppycock.
Sheep don't like to flock on poppycock, ain't no poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on poppycock, waking with a poppycock kin. And poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldini. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.